5 years ago, I was sleeping in my car after my family kicked me out for wasting time on stupid computer games. Last week, my app sold for $4.2 million, and now they're showing up at my office claiming I owe them for raising me with good values. I've always been the black sheep in my family. While my younger sister, Amber, was the golden child with her cheerleading trophies and popularity, I was the awkward kid who preferred coding to conversations. My parents made it clear which child they preferred. Parrot and Amber got a brand new car for her 16th birthday while I received a reluctant good job when I won the state technology competition. By senior year, I was working on an early version of my gaming app instead of applying to the business schools my parents demanded. When they discovered I'd use my college fund to buy development equipment instead of paying my first semester's tuition, they exploded. My dad threw my laptop across the room, breaking it, while my mom cried about how I was throwing my life away on childish games. That night, they gave me an ultimatum: business school or get out. I chose my passion. The first year was brutal. I lived in my 12-year-old Honda, disquified that I'd purchased with wages from my high school job at the electronics store. I showered at the 24-hour gym where I paid the cheapest membership possible. I worked multiple part-time jobs while coding at the public library during any free hours. During that year, I reached out to my family twice, part once when I was sick with pneumonia and needed help paying for antibiotics, and again when my car needed repairs to remain functional as my home. Both times, my mother answered with the same response: you made your choice. Call us when you are ready to be responsible. Meanwhile, they paid for Amber's entire wedding, $75,000, bought her first house's down payment, and funded her failed boutique business when it went under after 8 months. Eventually, I caught a break when my demo caught the attention of a small gaming company. They offered me an entry-level position with a salary that allowed me to rent a tiny studio apartment. For the next 3 years, I worked my day job while continuing to develop my app nights and weekends. When my upper-to strategy game with a unique monetization approach launched last year, it grew exponentially faster than anyone predicted. Within 6 months, it had over 12 million downloads. Last week, a major tech company acquired it for $4.2 million. The acquisition made local news, which is apparently how my family discovered my success. Yesterday, my sister, parents, and brother-in-law showed up unannounced at my office building. My father greeted me with, "Son, we always knew you'd make something of yourself." My mother hugged me as though we'd just seen each other last week instead of 4 years ago. Amber hung back, looking uncomfortable, but still managed to mention her second failed business venture and 3 kids who need college funds. Over coffee, their agenda became clear. They explained that as family, we should share our blessings. My father had pre-written a detailed breakdown of what they felt was fair: $250,000 to pay off their mortgage, $100,000 for Amber's business debts, $300,000 for college funds for Amber's children, $50,000 for a family vacation to reconnect and heal. When I didn't immediately agree, my father's tone changed. "We raised you with the values and work ethic that made this possible. We invested 18 years in you. Now that our retirement is looking shaky and your sister needs help, it's time to honor your family obligations." I remained silent, which prompted my mother to add tearfully, "Family sticks together. We would have helped you if you'd been struggling with 3 children, except they didn't help me when I was sick and homeless." I told them I needed time to think and would call them next week. They left looking confident, already discussing which debts they'd pay first. Last night, I spoke with my therapist, who reminded me that I don't owe my success to people who abandoned me when I was at my lowest. But she also acknowledged that family estrangement is complex and cutting ties completely is a significant decision. Part of me feels guilty, part not because I believe they deserve my money, but because I was raised to believe family comes first, even when they treat you as disposable. Another part feels rage at their audacity and the clear favoritism that continues even now. I am meeting with my financial advisor tomorrow to discuss setting up modest college funds for my nieces and nephew directly. Parallel, they shouldn't suffer for their parents' and grandparents' actions. Beyond that, I am leaning toward offering nothing.